Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Tripod, where we break down every NRL game every week from a betting perspective. I'm by myself today for the prelim finals recap, so it's not going to be an awfully long one. Obviously, only the couple of games, and also I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, so I'll make it quick. But no best bets for this weekend that we had. We did have a couple of side bets, and I'll start off with the Storm beating the Raiders on Friday night. It was a one-way affair, this one, 30-10. I took the Raiders against Jacob in this one, and just everything that could have gone wrong for the Raiders went wrong in this one, and it was a no contest really, this one, which was a shame because I really thought that this had the chance to be a really good finals game, and it was over in 10 minutes. The Storm scored 3 quick tries, bang, bang, bang in the first 10, and it was just basically done at that point. And the Storm are just such great front runners. It was always going to be tough for the Raiders to come back, and not necessarily making excuses for myself for taking the Raiders against Jacob, but I mean, at the time we did the pod on the Wednesday, Finucane was iffy. Obviously, Munster was named, but also iffy. Obviously, those two guys both play. And then, the Raiders only arrived, had some issues with the Queensland government borders and stuff, and only got to the game a couple of hours before kickoff, which, not saying that it would have changed the result necessarily, but definitely not ideal prep. And that one's got to sting a little bit more for the Raiders now that they find out that the Storm gets to fly into the grand final a day early. But yeah, the Raiders, it was just clear they were flat right from the start here. And, whether that was because of the things that I mentioned in terms of getting there late, less prep time, or if it was just that grueling Roosters game last week. They were just flat and the Storm just jumped all over them. The Raiders had guys that have been great for them all year, like CNK is, one of my favourite guys, and he didn't look right in this one, didn't look 100%. They showed up second half, obviously, it was, one try each second half, but it was too little too late at that point. But this Storm side, I've said it before, it's just, they are absolutely relentless, and, they knew this was a huge game and started it off well. That Vuni Valu try, Jesus, I mean, you guys obviously watched it, but you would have seen a post in our group that Vuni got shat on by a bird, and so it was a good omen for them. So I know a lot of the boys in the group were on a Vunivalu try, and that was the most ridiculous try I think I've ever seen, especially in this final series, that's for sure. Dummy the kick and then tiptoe the sideline for the try there. But props to the Storm, honestly, they're consistent year in, year out. And we get the final that we deserve. Storm 4th grand final in 5 years, and they get to play it against a team that deserves to be there in the Panthers. And it wasn't an easy one in this one, 20-16 to the Panthers. I took the Rabbits in this one against Jacob, plus the 6. I get that one home. I don't get up on our other side bet, where I took the Rabbits to win. But this is a cracking game, and honestly, this gives us the grand final that we deserve. Honestly, I think this is, the game's close to pick'em. Usually you hope that a grand final between two of the best sides in the comp is going to be close to a pick'em, and that's pretty much what we have in the Panthers against the Storm in this one. The Rabbits made a game of it, and unlike the Raiders, who started looked flat, came out slow, this Rabbit side was on from the get-go. Pinpoint Reynolds kick to AJ for the first try. That was off first tackle. If that goes wrong, that they're going to be like, what the fuck, Reynolds? But that was a great kick to get the Rabbits off to a good start. But I mean, then Panthers hit back and just, like I've been saying all year, just relentless, this Panthers side. And this was not their best game. This was one of their worst games they've played in quite some time. A lot of errors. A lot of uncharacteristic Panthers errors. I thought a few bomb chances. So, to be fair on, the Panthers, they probably should have won this game by more. Definitely could have won this game by more. They lose Api Coruscant when the game's, it's a 2-point game with 30 minutes left. Api Coruscant goes off for a little while, and you're kind of thinking like, Jesus, this Rabbit side could win this one here. But then, props to Jacob. He's been singing his praises all season long. Isaiah Yeo cracks the defense open, busts through, puts Dylan Edwards through, and then, the Panthers are up by 8 at that point, and the game's pretty much over, you'd think. And then Rabbits go through, score what was now the most ridiculous try of the NRL finals so far. And, then they're down 4, and you think Reynolds has kicked a 40-20 with 5 minutes left, and put him in a great position to take the lead. And he's put his foot on the 40-metre line, and that lost it for him. But honestly, I'm happy for the Panthers. I'm glad that we get this grand final. I think they have been the two best teams and certainly the two most consistent teams throughout the season. And yeah, it's going to be an absolute cracking grand final. Really stoked with what we're going to get next week. Panthers will have to pick up their form from this week. I think this is one of the worst games that they've played in a little while. But honestly, sometimes that's what you need when you're a top premiership contending team. You sometimes have to win these games ugly, and that's what the Panthers did in that one. So, quick recap this week, guys, because obviously no best bets to really go through. Me and Jacob took a little bit more money off me on the side bets. But thanks once again for tuning in. Remember, we do have NFL best bets out. We have our NFL podcast out. That was released yesterday morning. So have a listen to that one. It's only about 10 to 15 minutes. That'll have all our best bets for tomorrow's morning's action. So good luck on the punt this week, guys. And we will catch you Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. Queensland time to break down the grand final. Storm Panthers. Can't wait for it. Cheers, guys.